Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seals, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to a Friday episode of Dumb People Town. Population U.
Population U.
Population Mancini. What's happening, Chris Mancini?
Great to be here, guys.
Dude.
Starburns Audio. Sweet.
Starburns Audio. You have such a great voice. You really do. I mean, we love coming on your
Comedy
podcast.
Film Nerds.
Yes.
You and our buddy Graham Elwood. And then Jason and I just did a very cool project that we were so honored that you had us be a part of, which is a
Kind of a Twilight Zone-y.
Yes. Conversations from the Abyss. And it's basically comedians doing creepy Twilight Zone-y horror episodes.
That's awesome.
And it was
scripts that you've written.
Scripts that I wrote, yep. And it was all like, I always look at comedians and I go, well, what can I do and what can I put them in that they're not doing already?
I love the outside the box nature of it.
Yeah.
It was a really cool one that we did. I'm so proud of what we did.
It was called The Game, and it's about two siblings who have a sibling rivalry that goes in an unexpected place.
That's the best way to describe
Well,
it.
not only does it go in an unexpected place, but in reviewing it as they look back on their lives, they come to understand something that they thought was one thing, or at least one of them.
Yes.
But it found out to be something very
Where can
different.
people catch that and read that and listen to it? I mean,
That is on iTunes. It's Conversations from the Abyss, and anywhere podcasts are found, you could grab it. And it's they're quick. They're 15-minute episodes.
Nice.
Each season has about 8 episodes in it, and then there's 2 more to drop for this season, and they get crazier and crazier. The last one has Janet Varney and Annie Savage from Thrilling Adventure Hour.
Yeah.
About a woman who can't make decisions on her own, so she lets something else make the decisions for her at
Alexa,
a price.
you
Yes.
bitch.
Brittany.
Dumb Alexa.
we have in Dumb People Town Dumb Alexa,
Alexa.
which is just Brittany. Brittany, what am I doing?
Brittany, how hot's it going to be today?
I don't know. All right, you heard her.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Get in the car.
Yeah, exactly. And roll up the windows.
Yeah.
Well, we do feel like the world is getting into a car and rolling up the windows and is going to die of heat exhaustion soon, but we can stop it through comedy.
We can try to crack a window
try to
through
crack a
comedy.
window
Yeah,
through
sure.
comedy, and that's what we do right here. And again,
Stem the flow with jokes.
that's how we do it.
Stem
So
the
we
flow.
get great stories sent to us by our great fans, and then we try and prove that the world is getting dumber. Dan, do we have a story? Let's jump in right now.
do.
We've got Chris Mancini here.
You ready, my
Might as well
friend?
jump
I'm
in.
ready.
Here we go. This was sent
Let's
in.
hear the dumbness.
It was sent in by AE at aesthetic_noise. Thank you so much.
Ooh, cool. What do you think of that guy? Part-time DJ? Mm-hmm. Full-time player.
There you go.
All right, there we go.
An Austin
Or he works in a sound booth.
Exactly.
right.
Sure. Sound guy.
An Austin man was trying to boil some eggs.
Keep Austin weird.
I know. And we're gonna be. Is this dropping before or after we've gone to Moon Tower?
I think maybe.
Now, do we-
While we're
after.
there, day of, or after? I don't know.
Do we guess where the story goes from there? Is that
A guy in Austin wanted to boil some eggs.
And
That
it turned into
Yes.
murder.
Yes.
Right. An Austin man was trying to boil some eggs. First of all,
This is how South by Southwest got
Yes.
started.
also this is
And the airline had to make a surprise landing in the ocean.
right. But this is the most apropos Yoda quote of all. You don't try to boil eggs. You either
Do it or you don't.
do not do.
Yeah. If you're
There's no try.
trying, if you're trying to boil eggs, you're failing.
Hey,
Right.
you're gonna make some omelets. You're gonna have to make some omelets if you want to boil some eggs. What?
Can you imagine right before that what's going through the guy's head? Well, let's see how this turns out.
And that's already too much thought for boiling an egg.
Right.
You know, he was like, anything can happen.
An Austin man was trying to boil some eggs over the weekend. Little weekend hard boiled egg.
yeah.
I got one
Nothing
thing to
fun
do
this
this weekend. Let's
Yeah.
boil some eggs
Yeah.
and kick some ass. Looks like I'm out of eggs.
Some things you got to save for the weekend.
Right. What are you doing this weekend, Mitch?
Yeah.
I'm boiling eggs.
I
dude.
I've been wanting to do this since
Oh
Wednesday.
yeah, what, you going to Dave and Buster's?
Fucking no, I'm boiling some eggs.
I'm gonna stay.
I'm gonna try
in-
to. I'm gonna try to.
stay
Why
in
wasn't
on-
this added to the Loverboy song?
Everybody's boiling for the weekend.
He was trying to boil some eggs over the weekend and ended up being threatened with a knife by his roommate who was, quote, growling like a bear. Does anyone in this room know what a bear growl sounds like?
Look, man.
It's either it's either a roar.
Well, you
It's
know,
a
he
roar.
was an omelet fan.
There
So
you go.
Don't poach shit.
He was,
in this house.
quote, growling like a bear. An arrest affidavit filed in Travis County Sunday morning says Austin police responded to a southeast Austin home in the 2500 block of Village Trail Circle. Not much of a
Put it
trail.
on the walking tour.
Around 5:17 p.m.
I
feel
love
like
when they do that
I-
around 5:17.
I feel like you got to pick a side, though. You either threaten someone with a knife or
Right.
growl like a bear.
Yeah,
like
you're
why are
right.
you doing both?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost as bad as trying to boil some eggs.
right.
You either you do it
Doing
or you
or
don't.
not. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because I'm like, am I
Pick something. This is like indecisive.
am I
house.
supposed to deal with you as though you're a bear
Right.
and just
Right.
make myself big?
large and make a
Or
lot
am I
of
supposed
noise?
to deal with you as though we're in a knife fight, in which case I
Make
need
yourself
another
small.
knife.
Yeah,
Right.
or make yourself small.
and get
Yeah.
away.
But
That's
I
good.
do have this pot of boiling water that I don't know what to do with.
I'm just trying here, man. I'm trying.
All I wanted to do this weekend was
Let's give those eggs
Yeah.
the old college try.
Yeah.
The old UT try.
hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns. I'm giving it a try.
God damn it! I just want to boil some eggs and not get stabbed. This always happens.
Try and
That's why
try.
I said
and
try, man. That's why I said try.
So it happens at Village Trail Circle or around 5:17 p.m.
Around.
on Saturday for a disturbance between Thomas Patrick Whiteside and his roommate.
Thomas Patrick Whiteside.
TPW is the
TP Dubs.
is the bad guy in this. I think that's why he's the only name.
TP
Dubs.
Dubs. You know, like BT Dubs is, by the way,
TP Dubs.
TP Dubs
Yeah.
is like,
Just back off.
yeah, back off.
Tommy
TP Dubs.
Tommy Patrick T Pat. There's so many
Whiteside.
names you could go.
Tommy
here.
Patrick
Patrick
Whiteside.
Whiteside.
It's one of my favorite Killer songs, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm Mr. Whiteside.
Whiteside's roommate, whose name I don't think we get because he's the victim, quote, stated the whole. There's also so many times this article needed commas and doesn't have them. Stated the whole argument started because he was boiling some eggs on the stove in the kitchen, and Thomas Patrick Whiteside had a problem with it.
Who has a problem with it?
I know
If
that
it's
should
hot-
be on your Craigslist.
Although
ad.
I will say this.
420 friendly, hate hard boiled eggs.
I will say this. I was eating a hard-boiled egg today.
Really? They're a
And
good
I-
fill you up.
I held it in my hands and I was like, this is savage what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking what was a baby something
embryo.
and just with my teeth ripping it to shreds.
You going a little bit of salt on there or just straight up?
straight up. And
You
then
can't.
like
You can't eat a hard-boiled egg around Tim Tebow. You know that.
right?
Yeah, you're right. He is not in
It's a
favor
trigger.
of that. It's one of
Yeah,
his
it's a
causes.
total trigger.
Can I ask you where you got it? Was this a gas station hard-boiled egg?
No, this was and I am embarrassed to say this
Don't
because I
be.
actually make good hard-boiled
Trader
eggs.
Joe's bag of hard-boiled
Bag
eggs.
of hard-boiled eggs.
No way.
How lazy am I?
That is.
You're not trying at all.
I gave up.
You never see anybody drive and eat one though. That's
That's
Oh,
right.
then you weren't following me around today because I had half of it in my laundry room and the other half down on Laurel Canyon Boulevard.
As he's driving with his elbow on the steering, sprinkle just a little bit of salt on
Yeah.
top.
Right.
I don't have a minute to finish this. I need to get in my car.
This
What are you
isn't.
doing?
I'm in a rush.
Yeah.
Well,
What are you
you
doing
could
with a bag of hard-boiled eggs?
I didn't have the bag with me, but the bag was
But I
in
mean, what
my
are you doing when you
fridge.
buy them?
I'll tell you why I got them.
Put them in salads.
I slice them up and put them in salads,
Okay.
and it makes one of their bag salads, which is something else that I am not proud that I get.
Okay.
That's how little energy I have to make anything.
I'd rather you make these choices than make bad food.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what? Look what I
Buying a
just
bagged
did.
salad is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, and then it's got the stuff, and then I
Now,
put it
eating
in.
in your laundry room, that is something to be ashamed
I was
of.
eating as I was turning on the alarm, as I was walking out the door, half the egg, and then I took it out. So, but
if tossing someone's salad in prison, we all know what that is.
Right.
Bagging someone's salad's got to be one step worse.
In
right?
prison?
In prison.
Yeah.
That's got to involve like 3 people.
Did I tell you about Jay Sklar?
Dude, I
that
bet.
motherfucker
Had his salad bag.
No, dude, that motherfucker. He took a hard-boiled egg in the laundry room.
Stop.
You get his salad bagged?
I'm telling
He
you.
bagged his
I'm
salad.
telling you.
That's why he doesn't do that detail anymore.
That's
why he works in the,
So he works
prison
in the prison
library.
library from here on out.
So yeah, he's
Well, that's
cooking-
how you get a tattoo.
right. right. I saw Oz.
Yeah.
It's not a teardrop. It's an egg-shaped.
Yeah.
Just a tiny egg next to your eye.
So anyway,
So he
Thomas
was mad that
Patrick
this
White
was
said
going on.
He had a
Okay.
problem with it.
Right.
All right.
I got
So
a
that's-
problem with you and your hard-boiled eggs.
And
Did he
suddenly the-
specify?
Whiteside began yelling that his roommate was going to burn the house down.
Okay.
The roommate, who had gone into his room while the eggs were boiling on the stove, told Thomas Patrick Whiteside that he didn't need him to tell him how to boil eggs.
Okay, so now I'm like, I kind of am seeing.
Now I don't know whose side I'm on.
Now I'm
Yeah,
a little
I
bit on
know.
White's side. I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
going to do?
Come
What
on.
do I have to do? Growl like a bear to get this guy to see what's going on?
5:17 p.m. I'm assuming Thomas Patrick Whiteside is drunk.
I'm guessing.
Thomas Patrick Whiteside.
We say that 6 p.m. is the 3 a.m. of day drinking.
so he's about-
he's
he's about
he's almost
2:15.
at the end of the night
Yeah.
of the day.
But here's my question, and you've had hard-boiled eggs before.
Of
have you
course,
not? Okay,
yes.
you have a child.
Yes.
I
You
love
understand.
the questions that come
Yes.
out of these
Chris
episodes.
Mancini has hard-boiled an egg. Let's be
I
honest.
have. And also under the threat of a knife, but go ahead. Yes.
Your wife is very, very temperamental.
It has to be right. Yeah.
No, but the idea of if there is not enough water in there, the sound of the water splashing up and hitting the other side is scary.
And the smell of
Sort of like the bottom of the
burning-
pot
Yeah.
burning, that could lead someone to believe that this. And
Right.
so
Now, let me just clarify. Was it Easter? Was it?
No.
no, we're not even
This
on Easter
is
yet.
like around mid-February.
Wow, okay.
So it's a Valentine's Day dinner.
Okay.
Dan, if you're doing the news sing-songy reporter voice, are you saying, and that's when the hard-boiled eggs turn to deviled eggs?
Well,
like,
so-
is that when that comes
You're
in?
not wrong. The headline to this is "Argument over eggs boils over into knife encounter."
Looks like someone's afternoon plans got scrambled.
But the
Oh,
yolk
that's
was
good.
on David.
Yeah, that's good too.
How do we get from like boiling the eggs to growling like a bear to knife fight? Like
You
I
go
don't.
right
I don't,
through dumb people.
I was
town.
gonna say, that's a weird constellation to
Good point.
connect.
I
That's
know.
it.
So,
Well, so-
okay, so Whiteside yells at him, "You're going to burn the house.
You got to burn
down."
the house down. Turn
Okay.
up. And he's like, don't tell me
We'll
how.
call.
Yeah.
We'll just call the other roommate.
You're gonna
Grant.
burn the
Grant.
house down with hot water.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Exactly.
Don't tell me how to boil my eggs is what he
Right.
says when he's in his room not watching the eggs. on
I
the stove.
don't need
Right.
you to tell me how
But
to boil.
who I'm calling Grant for the rest of the story. So Grant was like, "Don't tell me."
I don't need you to
Okay.
tell me how to boil an
Right.
egg.
The roommate. Oh, here we go. The roommate told police that Thomas Patrick Whiteside had come home drunk that day.
Of course.
Yes.
Dan, you were so right.
Probably took an Uber, right, guys? Probably took an Uber.
No,
Sure, he
no,
didn't
no.
drive his own
Sure.
vehicle.
He's like driving with like
was at
4
wo-
shopping carts connected to the
He was
front
at
of his
work.
car.
Thomas Patrick Whiteside, quote, kept going on about the eggs.
Yeah.
You
So-
gotta burn it down. Roll.
So the roommate went to the kitchen to retrieve them. So that means he's in the kitchen yelling about the eggs to Grant and Grant is in his room, not even like
Right. And finally
You
he's
know.
like, all right, fine.
I'll get the eggs.
Right.
You know, this whole thing with growling like a bear, I mean, it might affect his job as a park ranger.
Sure,
So
sure.
You know,
well, or that could be the
Or
job of the
enhance
park
it.
ranger affecting him.
Right.
you never know.
Uh,
Maybe he just wanted his picnic basket.
This is what
I hate it when he brings his work home with him.
Yeah.
this is what the Grizzly Man could have been.
That's right.
May he
Oh,
rest
don't
in
ever
peace.
listen
May
to
he rest
that.
in peace. May he rest in peace.
Grant says Thomas Patrick Whiteside kept going on about the eggs. So Grant went to the kitchen to retrieve them and found Thomas Patrick Whiteside standing in front of the kitchen sink. When the roommate told Thomas Patrick Whiteside not to worry about the eggs, Thomas Patrick Whiteside turned around
growling.
holding a steak knife with a 4-inch serrate blade.
Serrated blade. So
No,
here,
according to this article, a
serrate blade.
Well, that's a special Game of Thrones blade that kills White Walkers.
That's right.
So,
Okay, very good.
you got to hit them right
Yeah,
between
yeah.
the eyes, and then they turn to like glass
Yeah.
and then
It's a
fall down.
form of dragon glass.
So,
But this is spelled SIR space the number 8.
Yes.
Sir
It's a
8.
license plate spelling.
Sir 8 blade.
So, but okay, but here is it comes to the crowd. I love how in these stories, Chris, always something comes up
To a
that
head.
is to a head, or we can learn a lesson from this.
Right.
If someone is drunk and speaking irrationally, there are some things you can't say to him,
Right.
him or her. Number one, you can't say "calm down."
Right.
That's the worst thing you can say to someone who's drunk. You have to say, "I understand everything that you're saying, and you're right." Okay, whatever you're saying, you like lie to him and be like, "You're right."
Yeah, go. Why don't you go to your room and I'll take care of
This
it
was
right
me
now.
when I was
Yeah.
a door guy. I'd always be like, I hear you, man. Come over here. Let's talk about it outside.
I'm with
Come
you,
here.
man.
Dude, I hear what you're saying.
I can't
Let me
hear
talk
you
to
in here.
outside.
Let's go outside.
Yeah.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, don't ever say to someone, "Relax, I've got it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Or
relax.
I don't need you to tell me how to do.
Yeah.
I'll take care of it. That, like all those things are like the exact. Because
Tell you how you're wrong.
that's right. What you're the person's going to interpret it by saying like, "What are you calling me an asshole?"
Now, what's crazy is all those things were written out on their roommate agreement on the wall.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like,
Right
you
next to
guys
the
are
chore
breaking
wheel.
every rule. No wonder this escalated.
The men were standing 3 to 4 feet apart. Small kitchen.
Yep.
And
Galley kitchen.
when Whiteside got into the squatting position, this is where Chris is totally right. Pick your maneuver here.
Yeah.
What are how do I need to process this threat?
Squatting all the way down to
Right.
me. If you got into a fight with someone or someone was belligerent towards you and then they squatted all the way down, you would be scared.
I'm always scared
For sure.
If there's a fight, I'm instantly scared if the other person takes their shirt off.
Yeah,
Because
or
now I'm like, oh, you're a
Yeah.
Right.
you're
That's
a
either-
pro. You've
that-
been through this too many times.
That's either frog kung fu or taking a dump. I'm not even sure what it's
something
going to
is
be.
happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've done this before, or something's happening that
Or you
I don't know.
how if you spring up from a crouching position with a knife that you could like
Kill me in one.
up into my neck
Yes.
or up into my chest.
So Grant walks in.
Isn't that a Mortal Kombat finishing move?
100%?
It is.
100%.
It's a
From-
Tekken 3 finishing move.
frog squat up to finish.
So Grant walks in and goes, "What about the damn eggs?"
Yeah.
And then TPW turns around with the knife.
Dramatically. Okay, now
Then goes
let's,
into the squatting.
let's
position.
talk about this cinematically, okay, Chris? Light coming
It's a
in from
push
outside.
in
Right.
It's
and
a
a rack
push in
focus.
and a
On a
rack
rack,
focus.
yeah.
So
On
it's
a
like
rack.
one of those, or it's a pull out and a rack focus, and the guy just
I'm seeing a fan too.
a fan in the
Yeah,
window
yeah.
that's slowly in slow motion. He turns around and he's brandishing the knife, which the light immediately hits. And
Right.
ding.
Cut to
Okay.
Grant. Cut back to TPW on a Dutch angle.
Right.
This
He's
is what
low.
You, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then he gets in the squatting position. That's TPW. Then he moved the knife up and down and said, "Come on, come on," and
we-
began, quote, growling like a bear.
Is this like Fatal Attraction when he's like cutting his leg but doesn't know it?
Yeah.
Like is
maybe.
it that like level of crazy?
Come on.
Grant walked away from Thomas Patrick Whiteside and got his eggs off the stove. That's my favorite part of this. That he wasn't even blocking the eggs. He just went, "Okay, man, got his eggs."
Okay, buddy.
Got his eggs and walked out. During
And
that,
then started the fire.
And left it on. Left the stove.
Look, it takes
threw a
it
rag
took,
on
it took,
top of the
Yeah.
open
Oh,
flame.
you were right, bear man.
it took huevos to take those eggs
Bear,
off that stove.
bear knife.
This sentence I'm about to say makes no. I don't even know why this is included in here.
But we love it.
During the time of the roommate walking away, Thomas Patrick Whiteside switched to holding the knife in his left hand.
So he just
Oh,
threw
well,
it.
You know,
Who cares?
He was watching a prison movie at the time.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what happens.
When you're a jet, baby.
Yeah.
There's
By
an
the way-
editor. There's an editor at this newspaper who's like, well, we don't know where, like, which hand is he holding it in?
Right.
Like, you got to
When
paint
he
the
leaves
picture.
the room, what hand is it in?
I don't know where we are in the space.
This article won't fit on Google unless we add 4 more words.
Well,
So-
that
That
happens
is
a
the-
lot in dumb people town.
Yes.
Thomas Patrick Whiteside has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Court documents say he was in the Travis County Jail on Monday with a bail set at
But
10
he didn't
grand.
charge after. He didn't do anything.
You just can't pull a knife on somebody.
Okay, but the
I guess.
guy got
Are they
his
still going to be roommates? Like that's going to
gonna
be
be-
awkward.
Hey man, do you have the rent money?
I got
mean,
this
that's a-
hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
No, but the guy gets the eggs and just turns around and leaves. To me, is the equivalent of a man or woman at a bowling party who bowls and then just turns around and walks away.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like you
Can
don't
I-
want to see what happened.
Can I also just because we got a movie buff on this thing and we're talking about eggs and eating eggs? Can I tell you how overrated the Cool Hand Luke eating eggs scene it just is at this point? Like it's like every dude who doesn't know anything about movies who's like, I'm a guy's guy and I love me some Paul Newman. He's my guy. And man, that eating egg scene, that's the best scene in any movie. Have you seen it? Have you seen it recently? Yeah, it's okay. He's in prison and it's a food challenge.
Yeah, like a far more interesting scene is in the movie Slapshot, where he goes over to the owner's wife's house and realizes that his team's not, they're not getting sold.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's a way more
Yeah, coach.
interesting scene.
Yeah, coach.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to play Guess the Age on Thomas Patrick Whiteside.
Chris Mancini is with us. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying connected and productive? And then there's your newest coworker, the cat. Well, your friends at Trello have been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Trello keeps everyone organized and on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Teams of all shapes and sizes at companies like Google, Fender, Costco, and likely your favorite neighborhood coffee shop all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
All right, we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Mancini from the great podcast Comedy Film Nerds, and he has his own series that's kind of like a Twilight Zone style series.
Using
called-
comics, doing sort of non-comic-y things, participating in these amazing little Twilight Zone
Tales
scripted-
from the Abyss.
Yes,
and-
Conversations from the
I'm
Abyss.
sorry,
Yep.
Conversations from the Abyss.
And it's
Apologize.
just creepy conversations.
really cool stuff on. You can check that out on iTunes. We did an episode called The Game.
Yes, it's awesome.
Chris, I wanted to ask you a little side note, then we'll play this. What is your most anticipated film this year?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a great question.
Wow, that is a good question. Honestly, it's a bit of a cliche, but it's been 20 to 30 movies leading up to it. I really want to see the next Avengers movie.
It's me too, man.
I mean, I've already
am
bought
so-
tickets.
You did buy them?
I bought them for my entire family, whether they can go or not. Don't care.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I will be there.
I am so excited for Endgame, and I think that Infinity War is almost perfect for what it
loved
is. You can't walk. You can't
loved
walk
it.
into it standalone. You have to know what's going on. But I just started watching it the other day just to put on. This opening scene is so.
What'd you
great.
think of Captain Marvel?
So I like Captain Marvel, but not my favorite Marvel movie.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
think there was
really
enough
felt like
stakes.
There was a.
No, I'm dead serious. I wasn't ever worried about anything. I was like, I don't.
There were also not enough writers on it. Apparently,
Yeah.
if you look at the
Okay.
credits, it was like, that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
Whenever there's
a lot of ampersands.
Yeah. So it's
Story
like
by-
so everyone got to write 15 minutes on this
Yeah,
movie.
well,
Fantastic.
yeah, that's how it goes.
So, but even a misfire for Marvel is still a good movie. It's
Agreed.
like Pixar. Like, all right, well, Cars wasn't great, but it's a great ride.
Cars
So
wasn't
there's always
great.
something.
Yeah,
that
it's true. It is a great ride.
But then there's all these sequels of Cars. Like you never answered
Cars
the
2
unanswered
is
questions.
terrible.
Yes.
Cars 3. Cars 2 is so complicated. Like as far as this, like
a kid's movie.
Yeah, like they're the guy who's using fake fuel it's actually gas. It's not. It's like, what is going on? Like, why are we turning this into a James Bond spy movie?
And never got the question answered. When did the cars become sentient and kill all the people?
Right.
Because we never get that answered. Because they still have doors.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
clearly there were people here at one point.
That's such a great call.
Of course.
That is a great
Chris
call.
Mancini.
I love that you're looking forward to that. I am as well. I want to ask you one other quick question, really fast. Doesn't it seem that DC seems to excel better outside of Shazam, which is a pretty good movie and is fun? They seem to do so much better when they're taking it super seriously. In contrast to Marvel, which seems to have found a very way to do that, to have stakes and invest in characters, but also be very fun. Like the new Joker trailer with Joaquin Phoenix looks unreal. And
Well,
obviously,
by
the
the
Dark
way,
Knight.
That blew
every
me away.
every
by the way.
comedian is one heckler away from being the Joker.
Right?
Let's just start
Right?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One bad set away from being the Joker.
So it's like, okay, is this a documentary? I
know that guy.
Yeah,
That's
think,
me.
I think what they're doing with that movie is like they're actually going to some really cool source material, like The Killing Joke,
Yes,
which is a great
yes,
graphic novel. And I think that first half, when you see him struggling as a comedian and eventually becoming the Joker, I think that's the basis for this film for sure. So I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, am I getting the whole story from the trailer? I think it could go either way. Like,
it could
cautiously
be
optimistic.
You're
on that movie.
hoping that it goes the correct way.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if it doesn't.
I have a lot of faith in Joaquin Phoenix. I just think like he is a perfect choice to play this guy. I'm like, name another person who would be great in that role.
Michael Shannon.
I was going to say TPW. Jay brings it all the way back.
Yeah, let's do
Because
it.
that would make sense if the Joker was trying to stab you and growling like a bear. I'd buy it.
Thank you.
100%.
This guy could be the Joker.
Yeah.
Also, for all, you,
100%.
for all you comedy fans, Gary Goldman in the trailer for the new Joker movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's doing stand-up when Joaquin's
man,
watching
I
it.
love it.
Great.
Okay, ready? Here we go. We'll get out of here on this. How old?
That was, by the way, number 49 in Gary Goldman's comedy tips.
It was.
Always do comedy in the trailer of a
Joker
DC
trailer.
movie.
Yeah, it helps. How old is Thomas Patrick Whiteside? Chris,
we
you
know-
are our guest.
You can either pick first, or you can either decide to give your answer first, Tig, which is in between me and Jason, or third.
I'm going first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and give your reasoning.
I would say he's an angry 30, trying to figure things out, but failing and getting drunk.
Okay.
Got it. Jason?
Jason.
Roommate, so I'm going to say 24.
Okay.
Interesting. I think getting angry about eggs is not like young people don't give a shit about that stuff. They really don't. Angry about eggs is a lot of stuff has not gone right for a long time. Okay, and this is the last. Like this is always the last straw of. I think he's 43.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, it
43.
has that smell of if one more thing happens today.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the Joker.
He's happy that Austin has become so popular, but hates it at the same
It's
time.
like I gotta move. It's too expensive.
All right. Thomas Patrick Whiteside,
The third.
who's worried about this goddamn house burning down.
He is concerned.
I know. He is 50 years old.
Oh my god! Still has a roommate.
I know, Jay, all this time in Dumb People Town, and you still think roommates are a young person's game?
In Dumb People Town, roommates are the
Roommates are for life.
Or
Roommate.
court ordered.
No.
You are not allowed to live alone,
No,
sir.
Wow.
don't forget what's his face from the HBO documentary.
Oh, Robert Durst.
Robert
He had-
Durst
yeah.
had a roommate in Galveston. Had a roommate in Galveston.
Man, I really shorted the failure bet on that.
Yeah, you did.
You gave him so much credit.
Yeah, I
20
did.
years.
But I think you had the angry part right.
Yeah.
You said an angry 30.
Yeah.
Give us a couple
Well,
decades.
here's what I'm glad. I'm glad that no one got cut. But
Yes.
I do worry about this.
Moving forward?
I worry about the next lease with these guys.
Yeah, I know. They're definitely losing the deposit.
Or
Yeah.
I got an idea, and maybe this guy can do it. He shows up, and because they do it at Trader Joe's, Jay, maybe they listen to this podcast. He shows up with a bag full of eggs.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
that'd
bag
be
full of
great.
hard-boiled
Well,
eggs
that's,
as saying,
you know,
this
peace
is my
offering.
peace offering. There you go.
Maybe we're being a little pessimistic here, but what if the best thing happens out of this? One guy becomes a chef, the other one joins Cirque du Soleil.
Love it.
So, you know,
Love it.
anything could happen.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
And he just has great knife skills.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, there you go. That's how we do it. Again, Chris Mancini, follow you on the Twitters, which is
Chris J. Mancini.
Chris J. Mancini, Mancini.
Yes.
Again, Conversations from the Abyss.
Yes.
Which check that out. We're very excited and so happy that we're a part of it. And of course, Comedy Film Nerds. It is fantastic.
And just one thing I other wanted to mention is the graphic novel is coming out on Starburns Press.
Oh, great.
hell yeah.
Fantastic. I'm so excited about that too. You've done such great work. And
Tell them what the graphic novel name is going to be.
It is Long Ago and Far Away and is a cross between Narnia and Clerks. About basically, I think I'm fixated on 30-year-olds. A 30-year-old goes back into that world after he was there as a kid, but now he's trying to save the world as a 30-year-old angry failure.
There you go.
I love it.
Could be boiling eggs in this
Yes.
one. We don't know. Or check it
trying.
out. Starburns Press putting that out. That's very cool too. Chris Mancini, thank you so much for joining us in Dumb People Town.
Great to be here. Thanks, guys.
And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.